They call me Squirrel.
Welcome back to the other side of Squirrel. I'm Squirrel. Anyways, this is Comedian Slam Wokeness, Bill Burr, Ricky Gervais, and more. I kind of interested. I feel that comedy is being killed by wokeness, and that everyone's afraid to laugh nowadays. You can see on the screen, it says political correctness is America's newest form of intolerance, and it is especially pernicious because it comes disguised as tolerance. George Carlin said that. George Carlin's been gone for a long time, so that was a guy way ahead of his time as far as brains goes, politics and all that stuff. So let's see what some of these comedians say about some wokeness. Yeah, and I don't know. I just want to check it out. I don't know. Let's check it out together.
People think they have a right to not have their feelings hurt.
I know.
They actually think that's a given right that the forefathers wrote in that said, your feelings, they can't be hurt.
Wow.
They're only words. You can't be afraid of words that speak the truth, even if it's an unpleasant truth. I don't like words that hide the truth. I don't like words that conceal reality. I don't like euphemisms or euphemistic language. And American English is loaded with euphemisms because Americans have a lot of trouble dealing with reality. Americans have trouble facing the truth. So they invent a kind of a soft language to protect themselves from it. And it gets worse with every generation.
And imagine mainstream America that doesn't even fucking exist. And if they do, fuck them. That's their kind of entertainment. They're fucking morons. Fuck them. Write your letters. Write your briefs. Write your congressman. Who gives a fuck? I'm offended by your language. Fuck you. Good. I'm offended by the fat that dangles under your fucking arm. Who do I write? Huh? Keebler else? Where do I send my letter? Life is offensive, you fucking morons. Does it ever occur to you you're born and then you fucking die? I find that offensive. Tired of this politically correct bullshit.
This is how screwed up my country is right now. Wow. Do you know Bryan Cranston, right? That dude did a movie. He played a quadriplegic, and people gave him shit. Being like, why is there an able-bodied person playing a quadriplegic? It's because it's called acting. You dumb fuck. See, right. If he was a quadriplegic playing a quadriplegic, that's not acting. It's just fucking laying there saying shit that someone else wrote.
Somebody else laughing along with me here? What is this? This clip got recorded off someone's TV. What is this? You hear that? Someone's laughing.
So tell us, what did you do to prepare for the role? Well, I dove head first into the shallow end of a pool when I was 23.
Oh my god, dude.
I feel like I've been preparing for this role for my whole life. Right, what is up next for you? They're gonna do a reboot of Top Gun. I'm gonna fly it with my plane. And the co-pilot's gonna be transgender. So everybody will be happy. There'll be a gender-neutral bathroom on the plane. No, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But I think white women started it.
My starting point when it comes to the consideration of any issue relating to free speech is my passionate belief that the second most precious thing in life is the right to express yourself freely. The most precious thing in life, I think, is food in your mouth. And the third most precious is a roof over your head. But a fixture for me in the number 2 slot is free expression, just below the need to sustain life itself. That is because I have enjoyed free expression in this country all my professional life and fully expect to continue to do so. Personally, I suspect highly unlikely to be arrested for whatever laws exist to contain free expression because of the undoubtedly privileged position that is afforded to those of a high public profile. So my concerns are less for myself and more for those more vulnerable because of their lower profile. Like the man arrested in Oxford for calling a police horse gay. Or the teenager arrested for calling the Church of Scientology a cult. Or the cafe owner arrested for displaying passages from the Bible on a TV screen. When I heard of some of these more ludicrous offences and charges, I remembered that I had been here before in a fictional context. I once did a show called Not the 9 O'Clock News some years ago, and we did a sketch where Griff Rhys-Jones played Constable Savage, a manifestly racist police officer to whom I, as his station commander, is giving a dressing down for arresting a black man on a whole string of ridiculous, trumped up and ludicrous charges. The charges for which Constable Savage arrested Mr. Winston Kadogo of 55 Mercer Road were these: walking on the cracks in the pavement, walking in a loud shirt in a built-up area during the hours of darkness, and one of my favourites, walking around all over the place. He was also arrested for urinating in a public convenience and looking at me in a funny way. Who would have thought that we would end up with a law that would allow life to imitate art so exactly?
But I'm also a conservative, and the Conservatives are back in power. What a wonderful word. And we are mostly concerned with two main issues. Firstly, immigration. Now, people really do get this party wrong every time on this issue, don't they? We don't think immigrants are animals, for God's sake. I know a lot of immigrants personally, and they're perfectly nice people. They're black, of course, which is a shame. But honestly, some of them can do some jobs almost as well as white people, and we acknowledge this. Now, a lot of immigrants are Indians and Pakistanis, for instance, and I like curry. I do. But now that we've got the recipe, is there really any need for them to stay?
I don't feel like... I kind of thought this video was going to be about people standing up against wokeness, like today, and saying, hey, you know, like... But these instead were some, like, overly overt jokes as well. And these aren't standing up against anything. These are just the way the jokes used to be, some of them. And, you know, I think there's a line kind of in the middle between the you know, the overly ridiculous and whatever else, where I think we could all be more happy with comedy. But unfortunately, it's either one extreme or the other in this world. So you got this, or you got... You know, you have to call it a multi-gendered, multicolored person or something. I don't even know what the proper term is for a person these days. No idea.
Conservatives understand these problems, you see.
I'll give you a big example. So I tweeted once, I'm your typical liberal, lefty, snowflake, champagne socialist, anti-racist, anti-sexist, anti-homophobic sort of guy. But if I tweet about freedom of speech, I'm suddenly alt-right. It's a nonsense to believe that some people deserve never to be offended their whole life. You know, it's great. And even in universities, there's people that I mean, we're better to hear different ideas and argue. The great thing about freedom of speech, if an arsehole is being an arsehole, you've got the right to call him an arsehole.
And America was the great experiment in which all this was to be put into the form of a state that was benevolent and free and open and not ruled by religion and not ruled by enforced thinking. And it all went horribly wrong.
And I find in America right now, it's the left, what people are referring to as the regressive left, that seems to be coming after language and speech. Do you see that? Is that happening across the pond too? I suspect it is.
We fear that it's going to happen more and more because America leads and Britain follows in all kinds of ways. And I think it started to happen in Britain with the removal of, or the attempted removal of statues of people who are considered unlikable.
Yeah, they ripped them all down over here. Over here, we just tore them all down. I mean, you know, there's a couple, maybe two. I don't know. Anyway, it's funny looking at this 2016. We're in 2021 now, and this is all The chickens have all come home to roost on all this shit.
That were once very beloved.
Once
that
beloved,
suddenly,
and
yeah.
have become, in a very 1984 way, unpersons. But to remove his statue, it strikes me as being stupid. I mean, the way to fight colonialism and the ideas behind it is not to pull down statues.
Yeah.
It is to actually to reveal, to say who he is. This is who this man was. Look at him.
Yeah.
So this might occasionally throw an egg at it.
Yeah, and this is like when in America they won't show repeats of the show Dukes of Hazzard because they had a Confederate flag on it.
Oh my gosh.
Underlying prejudices, injustices, or resentments are not addressed by arresting people. They are addressed by the issues being aired, argued, and dealt with, preferably outside the legal process. For me, the best way to increase society's resistance to insulting or offensive speech is to allow a lot more of it. As with childhood diseases, you can better resist those germs to which you have been exposed. We need to build our immunity to taking offense so that we can deal with the issues that perfectly justified criticism can raise. But secondly, we've learned how appallingly prickly and intolerant society has become of even the mildest adverse comment. Wow. The law should not be aiding and abetting this new intolerance.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
That's the end of it. So, yeah, like I said, halfway through, some cool pieces in here. You know, some standing against wokeness, like the title said. But then some of it's just like examples of things that are bad that people don't like and things like that, whatever. At the end of the day, it was a mixed bag, but it wasn't bad. It was a good video. I enjoyed it. And I personally am a big fan of comedy and always wanted to be a comedian, and so I'm not very cool on the whole cancel culture shit myself. But hey, you know, each topic is different, how everybody feels. So it is what it is, I believe. I hope everybody's having a great day, and no matter what anybody talks about and jokes about, the squirrel loves you. That's all that matters, right? Pretty sure it is. Is that right?